Let's fight. Welcome in the ring. Welcome to each and every one of you. It is Tuesday night, and we are happy that you guys are with us. And we are set and ready to go at our end. Of course, we're gonna just make sure we are steadied how we should be. And let me just make sure. All right. As we should be, I'm trying to be centered as possible. We're gonna hold for you guys to share the live stream at your end, and we are going to do the same at our end, folks. But thank you guys for sharing the live stream wherever you guys are picking us up from. Thank you for sharing the live stream. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. How are you guys doing? I'm going to give some of you guys a shout out. I'm trying to make sure that I have that set and to see where you guys are picking us up from. And Rashley Ford, I see Marcia Griffith, Amabel Clement, and Joycelyn Brown, Karen Black or Karen, June Chase, Yolanda. I see Hazel King and Brenda Nichols. Is that the name? I need to move one of these widgets out of the way. I see Hazel King is with us. Brenda Nichols, yep. Marcia Griffith. A very good evening to each and every one of you guys. We are ready to go at our end. We trust that you guys are ready also. All right. I am so ready to go, guys. Ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. And good to have all of you with us. Lita Basdio, where are you guys joining us from? And Lynch and Stewart, Michelle Fordyce, Albert Morgan, Colin Williams, Patricia Ray. Good to see you, Patricia. I think I know where Patricia's from. Right? Here in good old GD. Molly Clark and all of the other folks. Good to see all of you. Let me get my, I'm going to get that in a second. I want to make sure that I have my earpiece in so we don't have any feedback. Coretta Millington. Good to have Coretta up in the house. Coretta, I hope you're praying for me. I hope you remember to pray for me. How are you doing, Coretta? Good to see you there. Debbie Jack and is it Ian? I hope I pronounced that right. McFoy and Marcus Blue, Kim Walker. Good to see all of you guys, wherever you guys are joining us from this evening. Home here in Guyana, in the region, in the diaspora, internationally. I hope you guys are well. Maylene Burnett Wallace. Good to see all of you guys. And Kevin Joe, good to see you as well. Andrea Stephen Percival, good to see you. Erwin Dawn Cook, good to see you. Vincy Power in cyberspace. Thanks for joining us from cyberspace, Vincy. And we have also Seymour, George, and Veronica King. So many of you guys. Good to see each and every one of you. Guys, the comments go up so fast. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of all of them, but I'm trying. I see Bertle Nelson, Sharon Shepard, Selena Fraser. Selena, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a little while. Good to see each and every one of you there. Good to see Selena, especially. Romaine Adams helped me out last night with the name of the minister. I couldn't remember. Thanks, Romaine, for that. Cheyenne Boston. Good to see you as well. Mohava Blair. Good to see you. Again, Roxanne Prince. And I see Lambert, Mr. Lambert joining us on YouTube. Joining us from, is it Nunvault or Novault? Good to see you, wherever that is. Which country is that? Good to see you guys. The comments are really going by now. The comments are really going by fast. Anne-Marie Selby, good to see you. Anne-Marie Selby, good to see you guys. I am ready for the hot topics, waiting to see us pass the magic number, and then we are going to be good to go. Guys, it's been an interesting weekend into this new week. Whether it's biting, it's bus head, it's pull out a bus, it's a woman in a sheet getting arrested. It's been quite an interesting weekend into this new week. We trust that you guys are safe and sound where you are. And we're happy that you guys chose to join us this evening. And for many of you, each and every evening, where we promote the truth and we defend the facts. Good to have you guys here with us. And yeah, we are at that magic number. And I wanna start right away. Lots to discuss this evening, and I don't want to waste any time at all. I hope our volume is gonna work well this evening, and my notes seem to be in place. Guys, say a prayer for us at this end. We covet your prayers. Good to have each and every one of you guys. I want to start with confusion powder. Confusion powder, because that's how this government operates. As though from day one somebody has sprinkled them with confusion powder, and it seems as though all their efforts, it is so confusing, haphazard, mixed messages, incompetence, installed, fraudulent votes. It is one purgatory to the next with these jagabats. And so we begin our conversation this evening with confusion powder, and we turn to COVID-19. And I've been kind of keeping you guys abreast with where we are in COVID-19. We always encourage you to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, and all the other protocols that are there for your health and for your safety. But as somebody said just today, this government don't care about COVID-19. They are not in favor of these measures and so on, or else they'll never be doing some of the kinds of things that we see them doing daily. And just recently we said to you guys that it was announced that the COVID variant is in Guyana. Well, the Minister of Health says he's unaware. The Minister of Health, the installed Frank Anthony, says he is unaware that this COVID-19 variant is in Guyana and that it is engaging the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO. Isn't that madness? Frank, just go home, man. Frank, just go home. Just resign. Right? Ali, do us a favor, man. Fire this fellow. This guy don't know nothing. He comes to his press conferences on COVID-19 unprepared, and he don't know there's a variant operating. He don't read the papers. Well, we learned about that quite recently when PAHO confirmed that the Brazilian P1 COVID-19 virus was in fact in Guyana. Yep, in Guyana, folks. And I want to pick up some of the reporting where it was even, you had this fellow, Dr. Zulfikar Bucks, who said that he long suspected that the variant was in Guyana, and this is a medicine, a local emergency medicine specialist. It's only Frank didn't know that this variant was in Guyana. So here is this local emergency medical specialist, Dr. Zulfikar Bucks. I hope I'm pronouncing his surname correctly. And he said he had long suspected that we had the variant here. In addition to that, we had Dr. Karpen, Mahindra Karpen, who also is let me get his title correctly, he's head of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation's COVID-19 task force. He as well, hinted to this, that the COVID-19 variant was operating in Guyana. It seems to be only Frank didn't know that this variant was here. And it is quite astonishing that only Frank seems not to know that this variant was here. And so we are kindly asking, right? We are kindly asking if we can have a favor done and we can be rid of Frank. Please and thank you. Can somebody help us where that is concerned? And with that, I want to turn my attention to some other things that have been happening and that deserves your attention as well. Not a day goes by we can encapsulate the entire installed PPP administration under the theme, it's Guyana is not a real place. Under that theme, we can encapsulate the entire envelope, envelop the entire government under that one theme. Guyana is not a real place. And some of that we saw happening last evening when passengers was put out of a bus by a driver. It's like since the PPP come to government via these installed means, it's like nobody has respect anymore. And it seems to be bus drivers gone wild. It seems to be bus drivers gone wild. So I want you to take a listen and a look at this, what transpired overnight. And I'll have your comments on the other side. Let me know if you guys are hearing. All right, we're gonna have that back for you. I am hearing it in my headset, but why? Yeah, I'm hearing it in my headset, but why you aren't? We're gonna have that. We're gonna try to have that solved. But again, from Frank Anthony, not knowing what the the status is of these variants locally, to this kind of madness now, right? And one doesn't know what to believe. One doesn't know what to believe. And so we're gonna have to piece some of this together. And as I said, it seems that all hell has broken loose. All hell has broken loose since August 2nd. It's confusion powder central. That is what we have happening. Confusion powder central. All right. So let me see if I can solve that. Yeah. Let me see if I can solve the problem with the audio, because I really want you guys to have that, and then we're going to take it from that end. Let me see if I have that for you now. Let me see if it might be a bit better. We might have to take that back from the top, guys. And depending on you to let me know if you are hearing. Let me know if you guys can hear us. All right. So some of the guys are saying that they are still not hearing, and we want to get that for you. Some folks says they're getting the sound very low. Some folks says they're not getting any sound at all, but I'm hearing the sound in my headpiece, and we're going to solve. We're going to solve that, folks. What is happening? What is happening besides our sound really giving us some trouble these past couple of days? Besides that, what is happening? What is happening? This is what it seems like. Bus drivers gone wild. That is what it seems to us. Bus drivers gone wild. That is how it seems to us. It is one incident with bus driver after. You remember the bus driver that put the woman out, dragged the woman out, practically snatched her cell phone quite recently? Well, it seems to be bus drivers gone wild. That's what seems to be happening. And all right, let me see if I get that sound again. Guys, I'm gonna make a second try for the audio, and let me hear if you guys are hearing us. I'm making another try at the audio, and let me know if you guys are receiving that loud and clear at your end. Are you guys hearing us now?
VVV 1940, and the driver still carrying on across.
Guys, you all have to send us your prayers here. You all gotta send us your prayers, right? Let me know if you guys are hearing me now. I don't know what is happening with our audio these past couple nights, but we're gonna have to get some higher intervention. But again, you get a sense of what is happening there. Real confusion, some very arrogant folks, and where's the police when you need them? I really hope that we see some kind of penalty being instituted against this guy. I really hope, really hope that we see some kind of penalty instituted against this fellow, because this kind of nonsense has got to stop. This kind of nonsense has got to stop. And guys, we ask that you share the live stream. If you guys are on YouTube, I ask that you follow, that you subscribe to the channel. If you guys are on Instagram, there's my Twitter handle, Shara Duncan, at Shara Duncan. If you guys are on Instagram, or if you guys perhaps you're on Twitter, my Twitter handle is the same. It's at Shara Duncan. And even if you guys are on YouTube, you guys, it's the very same Twitter handle, wherever you picking us up from. And that we ask that you subscribe, that you retweet, that you share. Right? So it's one madness after the next, where this install administration is concerned. One madness after the next, one purgatory after the next. And I wanted to play for you another video And this one is concerning the woman who the policeman would have arrested. I don't think we need a volume here. Let me try to see if I can get it up for you. But again, interesting times in this country. Very, very interesting times in this country. Let me see if I get the audio for this one. Again, the police, is either they're there and they're doing nonsense, or they're absent and it's sheer foolishness. It's sheer foolishness. So here's the police arresting a woman last night. The woman is half dressed. I mean, where are the female police officers when you need them, guys? Take a look and listen to this. And again, let me know if you guys are receiving any sound.
Watch out, male police officer arresting. Are you going to tell me request?
Who's you arresting? Who am I arresting?
To your way, just come on again.
Me can't do that, but yeah, I'll
Confusion powder. Confusion powder. Guys, Guyana is not a real place. That is the police for you. That is where's the what are our standard operating procedures? What are our standard operating procedures? When the animal, the biting the police over the river over the weekend, there's a police woman just standing by watching. Now we need a policewoman. Right? Now we need a policewoman, and we don't have one there present at all. Following that, folks, it's real confusion powder. Like since August 2nd, somebody just sprinkled a whole bag, a flour bag of confusion powder over this administration, if not a whole truck of confusion powder. So there is this story that I want to share with you that we saw today. And this man get his head bust. So over the weekend was biting. People get dragged out of bus. This woman in this sheet, as we call it, or bed covering, you know, being detained by police. And then we saw this fella. Yeah, let me make sure we have the. I don't want to touch anything at all, right? So we have. Make sure you have the right thing. Yeah. So we have this report in the Kaicho papers of this story where this man got his head bust. He got his head bust. He is claiming, it is alleged, that his neighbors were playing music loud. His neighbors were playing music loud. He went downstairs, apparently, to ask them to turn down the music because, as he said, he has a young baby. This gentleman's name is Balram Raghu. He has a young baby. Confusion power in this country. And so he has asked them to turn down the music, right? And he says that his neighbors weren't having it. His neighbors were not having it. And so a fight ensued because he asked them to turn down the music, and his head get bust. So his bite, right, is sheet-arrest, his bust head. He said his head get bust. Well, one of the parties familiar with this episode reached out to us, right? And we want to bring to you the other side of this story. We have some audio for you, and we featured this in our podcast edition of In the Ring. And I want to share that story for you guys this evening. Welcome in the ring. This is our podcast version we call The Other Side of the Story. So you've heard this story on social media. Man who asks neighbor to turn down music gets bust head instead. That man is Balram Raghu. I have with me a young lady who says she has the other side of the story. Welcome.
Hi. Good afternoon.
You can you can let us know your name if you want to, or just go right ahead and tell us your side of the story.
No, I don't want to give my name.
Go right ahead then.
Yes. So the night of the incident, me and few other people and my husband was in the yard. We had a little barbecue, and the guy and his family had a 4-day, 3-daughter, I think, right? And they were playing music. We weren't. They were playing the music. So along let me say like 7 something. They said 7:30 to be exact. I went upstairs to lock up to come down back, and I overheard the young man on the phone speaking with the landlord, telling the landlord that the music, after they like 7 something, they turn off the music, right? And me by turn on the music on the car, and he was playing. And I overheard him telling the landlord that the music disturbing the daughter from sleeping, right? Which is before they were playing music and we didn't allow them to enjoy themselves. Anyway, I went downstairs back and I told the guy that the guy complaining said that the music disturbing them, and I tell him to turn on music. And he turned it on and he went to him to find out where's the problem. And this guy, he did drunk. He went here and he tell him, man, what's the problem? Yeah, I'm playing your music just now, and we low, yeah, now we turn out with music and it's a problem. And he jumped up and he's like, I don't care what the F you saying. I don't care what the F you saying. Yeah, music low. He drunk. So, and he told her, no long I want to kill a black man, no long I want to kill a black man. And me by turn around to walk away from me. And he picked up a plate from the table and shy towards me by. And he moved away. The plate missed, he moved away. And at the same time, the guy run to him. And he had a glass in his hand. And he hit him on the head with the glass, and he fall down and hit his head on the concrete. Anyway, he ended up on sustaining some injuries, some cuts and bruises to his head. And we might get a few cuts himself on his hand. We went to the station and made a report, and the police guy give me I don't know his name. The police guy give me a paper saying we should take it to the hospital and get me by hand look after because he had the bleeding real bad. Anyway, we went to this to the hospital. The doctor get 3 stitches on his finger, and we went back to the station. When we go back to the station now, they didn't take my statement, just collect the paper we went back with. We carry back to the station, and he said, man, you go home and come back in the morning, and we gonna send a police to pick up the guy downstairs. Anyway, so I was like, you sure? I tell the police, but you sure we should go home and come back? He's like, yes, yeah, go home and come back. We will send a police to pick up the bike. And we left from the station and we head back home. When we came back home, the van load of police come back and pick up me bike. It was like after 11 or so. After 11 and went back to the station. I spoke to the CID guy. I can't remember what his name. Anyway, I spoke to the guy, some man, what they holding this bike for? He said, he's gonna say, on attempt murder. So I said, attempt murder on who? He said, the young man, we head boss, his wife, come and make a report at the station saying they had a fight and the people they were in the yard, which is we double bank he and bossy head, right? So and he critical at the Diamond Public Hospital. So it's like critical at the Diamond Hospital. Anyway, I didn't ask you anything else. So I said, how long this guy gonna be in the locker for? He said 72 hours because the guy critical and they gonna tell me whatever gonna happen next day. So anyway, we went home and I back in the morning to find out what else happened. And the I see other police by because they didn't hand it over night bank going home. Anyway, I talked to the CID by and the guy said that when they call the hospital and the nurse, the doctor or whoever talk to them and tell them that the guy has been discharged from the hospital and they will put me husband on bail and they gonna when they get the medical, they gonna decide on what next to do. Up to now, they still waiting for the medical. It's been like 3 weeks, and we still waiting for the medical, both medicals to come back, so we know know more about what's going on. Right? So, this morning I running Facebook and I come across the article where the young man went to Kaito News and saying that when he came to which is Dubai, and tell me to turn on the music because get a little baby in the house and I bust his head. And I want to know like if me by like this stupid to know that he coming to ask me to turn on the music and he will pick up a champagne glass and bust his head just because he asked you to turn on the music. We still waiting. Tell me by call CID today and they see the matter, they see the Kaito News put up the article and they waiting for advice from the crime chief at Providence Police Station to tell me about whatever happened. It's about all I know right about now.
And this information that you've given us, this is to the best of your knowledge of the incident.
Yes, because I was there. So I know about it.
Folks, there you have it. The other side of the story. The other side of the story. So if you have a story, if there's a story out there and you have the other side, please feel free to let me know. Feel free to let us know if you have the other side of any story. This is going to be our podcast feature, and we're going to share it here on social media, Facebook, with you guys ever so often. But if you have the other side of a story, let us know, folks. And we know this is Guyana. We learn here very young. A story got 3 sides. It's me side, you side, and the side we hear about yet. So again, if you have the other side of a story or any story, plus the other side, feel free to let us know. I'm inviting now the Chief Whip, Opposition Chief Whip, a Member of Parliament, Christopher Jones. He has the other side of a couple of stories. So I want to hear from him. Chris,
good evening, Sharon. Good evening to your viewers. Indeed, we have the other side of many stories. Many stories.
So what is happening where you are, Chris? How have you been? You've been scarce. I know you've been a little busy these weekends, these weekdays. You're busy on the ground. I heard you were in region 4 this week, but more this weekend rather, but more particularly on the East Coast with an outreach. Tell us a little bit about that and how that went.
Right. So, as you know, Sharon, a series of outreach exercises have started throughout the length of the country by the APNU AFC members of parliament. We've so far been to Region 10, Region 2, Region 3, and now we are at 5. Now we are on the East Coast of Demerara this weekend. And of course, this weekend coming again, we will again be on the East Coast by virtue of the fact that the communities are so vast and so many communities that there's a lot of places to be touched. So even though we were on the East Coast of Demerara this past weekend, we will also be on the East Coast on Sunday coming. Several villages, and of course, those will be advertised and promoted. Communities such as Buxton, BV, Pleasance, and Grove, Iceland, and so forth are amongst the communities that were visited. And of course, there's another group that are slated for this.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so there are another set of villages that will be slated for this week. And of course, the members of parliament will be out and about in those communities. We invite them to hear from them, very frank and straightforward discussions with some of the issues that they're faced with in their respective communities. So as a parliamentary group, we'll be able to garner that information to give representation not only at the parliamentary level, but you note that we also share these information with our regional councillors, or in some cases the NDC, for those respective communities, so that the residents there could be adequately served by the APNU AFC representative, whether at the parliamentary, the regional, or the NDC, or the municipal level, to provide the leadership.
Awesome, awesome, and I'm happy that that I can say you guys, that we guys are on the ground, and we are getting the work done in spite of people getting bite, people getting the head bust, all kinds of stuff. The work must continue. And that has been happening. Chris, what's happening with Parliament? You know, it seems as though the PPP install administration, the trenches on the chat wouldn't want to hear this, have prorogued Parliament. The PPP has prorogued Parliament. I want to share with you this information, Chris, that we saw, you know, for the past couple of weeks. The Speaker said, firstly, he started off his tenure by saying that parliamentary business wouldn't be impeded by administrative delays. And then we saw a suspension of the committees, right? He said, you know, because several staff had tested positive for COVID-19. This was a couple of weeks ago. You know, they had the Parliament building fumigated and so forth, but it seemed not to be reconvening the committees or Parliament. He then said that, you know, it's spiraling costs of online infrastructure, you know, is delaying these committee meetings online. Well, Zoom for 100 participants is $14.99 US a month, right? And then quite recently, as in yesterday, we saw him stating that unvaccinated parliamentary staff is now delaying the holding of committee meetings. Chris, what is happening here?
But you know, I want to pick up. Yeah, I want to pick up right there in terms of his most recent utterance, and quite frankly, I would want to say on behalf of the staff, members of the Parliament of Guyana, it is very offensive indeed, because the parliamentary staff, like many other ministries and agencies, people in general take necessary precaution against COVID-19 to ensure that themselves or family are not infected with it, and so forth. The system and the measures that we had in place under the APNU AFC government, which provided a rotation system in which staff members work on rotation, they're not together at one time, as well as even the Parliament of Guyana at the time under the APNU AFC government, the staff members had a transportation system that was deliberate for only the parliamentary staff, so they don't have to be part of the public transportation system. All of that was abandoned by the PPP all staff members and all various government agencies and ministries had to all be at the place at the same time. There was no rotation system. The bus transportation system that was put in place, that was removed. The Parliament, as we speak currently, has reverted back to that system that the APNU AFC had in place, in which the staff are now being rotated once again. The transportation system isn't in place for them. But for the speaker to say that unvaccinated staff members, it feeds into a particular new narrative that we noticed started emerging by the People's Progressive Party Civic on public servants. And it took me about 2 weeks ago to make a public announcement via my Facebook page, advising members of staff, whether in the private or public sector, that there is no law, there is no written law or no public servant law that requires you as a public servant to declare whether or not you have been vaccinated. In fact, it is affront to your privacy. And as I mentioned before, there is no law that states that you have to do this.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Chris, it is the PPP who have promised to bring a COVID-19 vaccination legislation to the House and has failed to do so.
There you go. There you go. And why I say too that the speaker's utterance feeds into the narrative being pushed by the PPP in these government agencies and the ministries is that they are circulars that are being sent around. I know something in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There's a circular there. I know the Guyana Power and Light, the Ministry of Tourism. The circulars are so far been circulated there, in which they're asking supervisors to put up a list of your staff members who have been vaccinated and those persons who have not been vaccinated, with a view that they will set aside a specific date and time in which a specific ministry or agency will have all of those staff members who have not vaccinated have to go, as in making it mandatory. And that is why we make the point now to all sundry here in Guyana that there is no law that states that as a public servant you must be vaccinated. There is no state, there's no law as well in the Public Service Act, and we want person to be warned of that. As well, it is a breach of your privacy and your constitutional right to determine whether or not you want to take a vaccine. Even though the APNU, we continue to encourage persons to go get vaccinated. But at the end of the day, that is that individual's choice. Persons may not want to go for various reasons, medical issues that they have, or the issue about type of vaccines that are available. That is their right to determine. That's their choice if they want to have the vaccine or not. But for the government and the agencies and ministries to be sending a circular around for supervisors to write down people's names, as well the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. Because the report there as well is that the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Culture and Sport, as well too, is circulating a similar memo asking supervisors to list names of staff members. As a citizen of this country and your constitutional right, if you decline to provide that information, whether yes or no, that you have that vaccine, that you get the vaccine, you have the right. So if we come around to you and ask, did you get the vaccine or not? It is the right time to even answer that. You don't have
because Chris, at these work sites, you're still supposed to have testing, temperature tests being done at the entrance. So you can still, weed out persons who are potentially COVID positive. You're testing the temperature, asking some integral questions and so on.
Correct, and that is not even there too. In many places, all of that has been relaxed. We even talk about you could go to contact tracing. We no longer in Guyana do contact tracing. We simply said,
Chris, we saw the deputy speaker and some installed ministers saying yesterday that once you take the vax, you can unmask.
And that is not true. That is not so here in Guyana. You see, again, they see something on CNN and BBC, that in the United States, because persons would have been given both doses of the vaccine, the CDC of the United States has made it based on their information and their analysis and information that they have, that as a result, you can't go without your mask. They have now imported that, of which we just saw PAHO WHO confirming that Guyana has the Brazil variants here.
Yeah,
and
correct.
You ask the average person, they will tell you that, listen, I believe that variant had been in the country for a number of weeks now, because we saw the spike in cases and the spikes in death, right? So the information that is there in the United States does not apply to the Republic of Guyana. Our borders are open, our airports are open. We don't even have a proper curfew. There's no enforcement anymore of the curfew measures. And I would want to share quickly, Cheryl, with the viewers, that we recall there was a particular weekend in which the Guyana Defense Force and the Guyana Police Force went about enforcing the COVID measures. You have several bars, which include Palm Court, Gifford, Sleeping Hotel on True Street, and quite a few others. And you have persons who were detained and all of that. By the next morning, the president, installed as he is, called several of those businessmen and issued an apology to them.
Oh, wow.
Apologized to them. Wow. Contacted the head of the COVID-19 task force. And I heard that he put a cuss out on them so much that since that weekend, he never heard about the army boss going about enforcing the measures. That was the end of that. Yeah. So the businessmen, the businesses have more rights than the health and well-being of the rest of the populace. So since that enforcement by the task force took place, the president called several of those businessmen and apologized to them. I humbly apologize for what the task force did, closing down your business and so forth. That's what happened, right? Yeah. So again, is that you can't import what is said in the United States by Dr. Fauci and the CDC there and import it here, that once as a Guyanese you get 2 doses, you can take off the mask. I don't know any of these ministers have been any doctors. I saw today, this evening rather, an article which
Frank doesn't even know Fauci and the CDC have said that. He probably don't even know because he don't even know.
There you go. So you imagine now our health minister, Frank Anthony, is saying that he's unaware that the Brazilian variant is in Guyana, while PAHO WHO confirmed that the Brazilian variant is in the country. We are in a bad place.
He's unaware of fraudulent votes, too, and then being installed. Yeah, a lot of them. So Chris, it has been one purgatory to the next since the installation on August 2nd, whether it's the surge in COVID-19, it's the economy that is tanking, it's all manner of madness, dog bite, is passengers getting chased out in minibus, it's all manner of madness. We have floods to deal with now. There's flooding currently in Region 9, some parts of Region 10, and our colleague Vincent Henry in Region 9 spoke with us early on in the day and filed this report. Chris, I want you to take a listen and to get your comments at the other end of it.
My name is Vincent Henry, member
the video lags a little bit, apologies.
Region 9, Rupununi. I am happy to be making my report to you at this time. In Region 9, we recently had big floods in South Rupununi, and many of our farmers were affected. This flooding doesn't happen every year, but periodically it does happen, and whenever it happens, it would cause a lot of distress to the residents. For example, in Caranao, many of the farms were flooded. I spoke with it Tushal this morning, and he said that they will be doing an assessment and will soon be making a report to the authorities so that relevant assistance can be given. In Sand Creek, well, they are near to the Rupununi River. They had a very big flood there. Up to now, the water is very high. It's actually up to a place called Red Hill. It's like a big lake of water going right up and flowing very fast. It was also in the village, and some 8 households were affected, and the residents there are calling for some assistance. We have made this known to the regional authorities, and hopefully something will be done for them in terms of food assistance and other stuff to help them clean their houses after the flood, etc. Also, Lethem itself is now under a threat. This morning, I went to do an assessment, and I found that the water was like some 3 feet, 3 feet before it reaches the top of the land. That is the Takatu River. And according to one counselor, when I left, I was informed that the water is rising very quickly. And so we made some calls on Facebook for the authorities to get their act together. Do not wait until the after the fact for them to take action, but to start mobilizing now. And indeed, I noticed this morning that there was a disaster preparedness committee meeting, and certain things are being put in place. And I hope that they will be able to respond rapidly to issues and to problems, and to help our residents to overcome this threat that is coming on us right now, and be able to get over it in the future. Normally we would get like periodically a severe flooding, and after a few years, severe drought. I still remember in the 1997, 98 time, somewhere around there, we had the El Nino, and it was really a horrible experience. I was then the vice chairman, and we saw our children even, falling down, fainting in school because of hunger. And because if the severe dry season, destroyed all the cassava crops. And in Region 9, the cassava crop is a staple. It's something that the people live on, they eat every day. I too love the farine. It's very tasty, it's very nourishing, and it also keeps you up away from hunger for long periods. And that whenever there's a flood or a severe drought, those cassava crops are destroyed, and we end up suffering. So it is good that the Disaster Preparedness Committee is in action, and I know that I know Mr. Craig and others will be very active. During my time when I was in authority here on the RDC, I knew he and others as junior officers were very active. Now they are the bosses, and I
Chris?
know that they will do a good job. Thank you.
I'm very happy that the parliamentary representative, Mr. Vincent Henry, as you know, he moves about Region 9, whether it's in the deep south or north. And he essentially what he's doing is bring all and sundry up to speed in terms of what he's doing there. He mentioned that the disaster preparedness task force has been activated. We don't know how widespread, because Region 9 is not only Lethem, as he pointed out. There are many of those satellite communities that are some distance away. So we don't know to what extent in terms of flooding has affected those villages. And as he mentioned, is that they depend heavily on their farms. And when the absolute farm, they have to get produce out of the Lethem. With the roads being impassable by virtue of the flooded water, it creates a damage situation for many regions in terms of accessing and getting food for the villages. So we are happy that the force is up and about, but we do hope that it is to a wide extent that we are covering the entire region and ensure that they're checking with those villages to ascertain the status quo there as it stands.
Yeah. And with that, I trust we're going to be praying for all of the folks there in the Rupununi that this issue is alleviated as quickly as possible. Chris, I know you have some other events coming up this weekend on your calendar. There's a market launch coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so Mahaica Berbice Region 5 on the 26th of May, Independence Day, in the village of Ithaca. The village of Ithaca will be joining the long list of villages, particularly in the Mahaica Berbice Region 5, that has started their own market day activity. Former Minister of Finance, Mr. Winston Jordan, has been very instrumental in having the access to the farms and equipment so that those persons could get those farms in the village of Ithaca. So on the 26th, there will be this massive launch of their market day, in which he will make a presentation, encouraging the young people who have since taken up the land, whether in tree and so forth, and they will be bringing out their produce purchase. I must tell you, Sherrod, as well, that as I mentioned, there's a long list of villages in the Berbice region. There is Belladrum, there is Burma, there is number 28, there is Mukong. All of these communities have joined the list of villages that have started the market day. I know Moko, the village of Moko and the village of Demerara, on Saturday, they will be having their market day too as well. So we encourage persons to head out to Moko on Saturday to support their market day. And of course, in Region 5, on Friday, Belgium market day happens on Friday. Wednesday, it's the 28th, and will be tomorrow. Saturday, it's all roads lead to Ithaca, which Ithaca will then be joining the list of villages producing their own. It helps in terms of the village economy. It helps to get particularly young people in farming and in farming activities. As you know, in the Mahaica region, the lands there are plentiful on very rich soil. You plant and grow anything there. And these markets encourages the villagers to stay in their farm produce and, of course, benefit them economically and otherwise.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we wish you and the team all the success with launching the market and all of the other activities that are going to be done in that vicinity over the weekend, Chris. I'm going to come myself and get some of those vegetables.
And then stop into the family there just before Yeovil.
Yes, great. Even better. My in-laws are from that area, folks. Thanks very much, Opposition Chief Whip, Member of Parliament Christopher Jones, for bringing us up to scratch with those issues. Thanks very much, sir.
Most welcome.
Great. And guys, as we go, we encourage you guys to social distance, to wear your mask, and to sanitize. And as we go, we wanted to bring you a bit of reporting out of Kokwani Region 10 that is also flooding. And we want to bring you this report from Darwin Grenville. Again, out of Kokwani, they're experiencing some flooding there, and we want to bring you that. And at the end of it, we say good night. Here is that piece.
Holidays to me. Land over my water. This is what happened every day, June. In Guyana, part of Guyana.